Hello, everyone. Good Friday. I hope you're doing fine. Welcome to our beautiful lightworkers in the group on my page and on YouTube. So let me know who's there. I would love to know. Let me know if you hear me well, if you see me well, where you're from. And if you're new to my group, as I am broadcasting live in my private group, but also on my page as well as on YouTube. So if ever you're not in my group, which I do recommend, join it. I'll just post the the link here on the screen, as I cannot post it in the comments yet. In this group, we have like similar channelings, activations, and talks every week. So feel free to join us. If you feel you're a rising light worker, if you feel you're a healer who wants to use their intuitive powers to, of course, heal yourself and help others. So hopefully you'll enjoy the content. There's so much there. There's like, I don't know, over 50, if not more, activations available on different topics. Everything around aligning yourself with your life mission as a light worker and discovering what your life mission is if you're not sure yet. So let me know who's there. Let me check before we start. Natasha is here. Wonderful, from Montreal. Bonjour, bonjour. So happy to see you guys. So before we start, first of all, thank you and welcome to the new members or people who don't know me yet. Today's topic is around the three main fears rising light workers are experiencing. So I kind of posted in my group a little poll earlier, and if you're on Instagram, you will see that a little bit later, but I also posted it. I just wanted to find out, first of all, what you feel your fears, your main fears as a light worker are. Sorry, my phone was not turned off. And and I forgot to really mention rising light workers, as I do feel there's a difference. If you're awakening to your divine powers, meaning it's totally new, you understand, okay, what am I supposed to do with my abilities to see, to feel, to know? I'm channeling, I'm drawing light codes, I'm doing some light language. So that is the awakening light worker. It's like you're starting to feel how powerful you are. So you might not be fully aware of how powerful and how potent your powers are. The rising light workers are definitely the ones I work the most with, because when we say rising, there's an understanding that you already know that you have powers. You already know that there's something out there more than the 3D reality, and you're receiving guidance regularly. You're connected to your higher self, you're connected to your guidance and star team. Even if you have to perfect this, you know it's there. You know that you have access to this. So hello, beautiful Elizabeth, how you doing? So today we will review your answers, and I will comment all of them, because I think it's important for us to understand what we're facing along the way. I've been through that route, and there's some, I'll be honest with you, there's still some fears that are coming into my field. I'm a human being, it's totally normal, but I think we will address all of them, and we will really target the three main ones for the rising light workers. So what is a rising light worker? As I said, it's a light worker who is aware of his sixth sensory powers. Hello, MJ, how you doing? So he is or she is aware that she can make a difference in this world, and they're ready. The rising light workers are ready to move to their next step. They're not dormant, they're not stagnant, they are in the action, whether it means learning more about their power, starting to use them with family and friends. Self-healing, of course, is a part of that growth, of that awakening, and eventually start to tell the world, this is how it feels when yes, as a human being, we are using our intuitive powers. It's to show the world that yes, there's the body, there's the emotions, there's the subconscious mind. We have daily stuff to do, mundane activities to do, but there's another aspect, which is the spiritual aspect, the intuitive aspect. And I'm here as a rising light worker. I'm here to show that to you. So the rising light worker is really into the action. And of course, his or her goal is to get an abundant light worker, a light worker who does not doubt anymore that his mission is to continue his or her evolution, learning more, raising his vibration, and sharing the gift. As soon as you feel that there's a calling that you really desire to listen to your gifts and you want to share them, then you know that abundance and alignment is really in entering your field. So we will start with a very short, relaxing induction just to get us there. Then I will share a little bit of content and around the fears, and then we will follow. We will end, I would say, with an activation. But before we start, tell me what you feel are the three main fears rising light workers are experiencing. So not the awakening light worker, meaning like he's all surprised by the power he has or she has. So I'll repeat them, okay? Fear of rejection, fear of not authentically working with the divine. So meaning that everything you receive is coming from your imagination. So let's call it authentic intuition. Fear of being ridiculed, fear of not making it financially in the like working field, fear of connecting with lower vibrational entities, fear of doing the introspective work, so self-healing, and fear of persecution. Somebody added, and it's totally right, feeling not good enough. And to me, it's not feeling that you're receiving authentically divine information. So it was the same, but it was right on point. So just take 1 minute or so and type down what you feel are the three main fears rising light workers are experiencing. So rising light workers, again, have already entered in contact with their higher self, have already initiated the expression of their intuitive powers. They're just rising, they're just moving with the flow, but they're in contact with their source every day. So let's see what you guys, before we go, fear of not having an authentic intuition, totally. Fear of rejection, totally. What's coming up? Fear of the unknown, scared of the answers. Yes, totally. So that goes of not trusting that what you receive is authentic. Totally. Yeah, you're totally right. And feel free to, again, share what you feel are the three main fears, and we'll talk about that. Before we talk about this, because I really want your conscious mind to be out of the way, and I really want your heart center to be open, let's do a little induction. So close your eyes right now. Take a deep breath in through the nose and breathe out until no more breath. Let's do this 3 more times. Beautiful. So imagine that there's a beautiful light emerging from the center of your chest, right in your heart center. Imagine that somehow through our connection right now, a door is opening up, a portal, some kind of a little door opening up, allowing an energy coming through. So feel the light not coming. Usually we always ask for the light coming from either from the earth or from a higher source. Now let's connect to a light that is already infusing your body, that is already infusing, flowing in your earth body. It's constantly moving within and around you, very close to your body. But now we want to really connect to the heart center, where your ability to remain connected to earth as you are in this incarnation and remember your divine self. It's like opening the door to merging both aspects of yourself. And right now, sense that a beautiful red rose is slowly blooming, opening up its petals to reach its highest, the most beautiful, vibrant vision of a mature red rose. Feel it right there in the center of your heart. And the light is still projecting outward from your heart center as the rose is simply blooming. It's as if this rose was never going to lose its petals. It's an ongoing growth to become wider and wider, bigger and bigger, expanding, adding more and more petals to it, becoming a huge, huge, huge red rose. You may at this point even smell its aroma, its beautiful fragrance, feeling transported, feeling loved, feeling warm, feeling totally cherished by the abundance of beauty, visual beauty. And the smell itself is transporting you into a space where you're simply floating, ready to receive any kind of inputs for today, whatever you're meant to receive, whatever you're meant to integrate today. You're fully open. You're fully ready to trust that your higher self, that your earth self, are ready to simply integrate within you your next step of understanding. Take a deep breath in through the nose and breathe out. And when you're ready, open your eyes. Open your eyes, feeling light, feeling that was good because I was starting to speak a lot and forget my words. So that was even good for me. I'm just checking if we have any comments. So the fears light workers are facing. So I have my phone to check your answers as I posted a poll in my personal, not personal, but private group. So there was how many options? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 options. So the one, I'll give your results, okay? The one that comes first is the fear of rejection. So this is what most of you guys have voted as being the top fear. Okay, so the fear of rejection, it's not being understood, not being accepted as a light worker, as an intuitive, as a healer, as an artist, as a teacher, as a light being coming here onto this planet to share his or her gifts. It's being rejected by the family. It's being rejected by society. It's not even finding a space in society because you are inventing your job, you're inventing your identity, you're creating it. There's nothing out there that really corresponds to what you sense is you. Yes, you're a channeler. Yes, you're an intuitive. Yes, you're an artist. Yes, you're a light worker. Yes, you're a star seed. Is there a job like that? No, you have to create this. So fear of being rejected is really a big one. So you're right, guys, for that. The second one was fear of not authentically working with your divine, the divine, I mean, so meaning that you don't trust all the information you're receiving. You do not trust all the healing abilities you have, even though people are telling you, yes, I feel a difference. So the imposter syndrome is definitely also working with the lightworker evolution, and even more so because we don't have any basis to rely on. It's not as if we could, we have a definite training that will confirm, okay, once you have attained this kind of power, that's it, you get a stamp, you're definitely a light worker, and nobody can ever doubt you're a light worker. So exactly, yeah, not feeling that what you receive, whether it's guidance coming through you, whether it's clear cognizance, whether it's your healing abilities or your art, it's definitely a big thing. All right. I was just checking. Okay, the other fear that you have chosen as number 3 or top 3 is the fear of being ridiculed. And yes, and it's very going hand in hand with the fear of being rejected. If you're scared of being ridiculed, chances are that you might not even say who you are because you're scared of being rejected. So to me, being ridiculed is very close to being rejected. You're scared of being made fun of, so you don't share your gifts. You hide. The fourth one you guys chose is the fear of not making it financially in the lightworking field. So if you are a dormant lightworker, so meaning you're interested by the topic, normally dormant lightworker or lightworkers would be people who are not even aware that those intuitive powers are accessible to everyone. But the dormant is, in my vocabulary, is somebody who is interested in the topic of psychic abilities of star beings, but is observing more than interacting. So he or she hasn't used their powers yet. So for them, of course, not making a financial living doing light working work is actually totally irrelevant because it's not even in their mind. So for rising light workers though, and you're definitely my people here, rising light workers have over a few months, over a few years, worked, trained, followed courses, or on their own have developed their intuitive sensibility. So whether they feel completely at ease or not is not even important. It's just that they have been playing with those energies for a while, and they're kind of thinking, I have tried that with some of my friends, or maybe 1 or 2 or maybe 10. And it's time for me to maybe start to sell my services and maybe ditch my everyday job for something that would really light me up every day. And yes, if you are in that area where you're really thinking of really jumping to a part-time work as a light worker, as a healer, as a teacher of the light, or you want to go from part-time to full-time, yes, this is definitely a fear that will stop you from believing you can make a living, because again, the system is not supporting us. There's no specific school that will certify that, yes, now you have achieved a high level of intuitive connection. So clients, you can go to that person. This person is really relevant, is really potent in the way they share their powers. So it really means that you need to prove yourself. You need to show people what you're doing. People have to experience it, and then they're starting to really go for you and really wanting to work with you. So yes, it's definitely a big fear that that it's not going to work for you, because again, the system is not, but it's changing so much. That's a fear that I'm working very hard with my students at the moment. And even though at the beginning I said, no, I'm not a business coach. I'm not going to tell them how to do their work, or I'm not going to tell them how they can reach more clients, or I'm not going to tell them how to really set a protocol that it will be easy for them to share with other people. That was not my initial intention. I'm here to unlock intuitive powers in people through channeling, okay? That was my thing. But then I started to channel protocols for people. I started to channel their ideal location where to work, who to work with. So I realized that there's kind of a channeling, coaching aspect, business aspect in what I'm doing. And I realized that it's so relevant, it's so important. I mean, if you're a rising light worker starting to really see, even more than starting, you have powers and you're here to express them, you're here to share them, then you need to find ways to connect with everyone out there and tell them what you're doing. You need to be out there. You need to have some kind of a system that works specifically for you and the ones you want to work with, that works specifically with your gifts in order to really feel aligned with your own essence. So this is a big fear for rising light workers. Again, if you're a beginner, you might think that I'm far from this yet. Now, the fear of doing introspective work, self-healing, going deep into your inner soul, finding out in your subconscious mind what is stopping you from believing in yourself, what is stopping you, all the fears I have mentioned above, or fears, most of them. Sometimes it's karmic and it's connected to past lives. But most of them are also connected to society's vision of what a light worker is. If you don't fit the mainstream, you're different, you're evaluated, you're put aside, you have to be strong. But there's also a lot of things you have inherited from your family, from the community, from your teacher, the way you were brought up. And that is the introspective work you've got to do. Okay, so that is a fear. A lot of light workers are scared of that. And the last one you guys chose is the fear of persecution. The fear of persecution does not apply in, I would say, more in the Occident. So more in the developed world, I should say. I don't know if the term, you understand, meaning that depending where you work, where you live in your country, in the country where you live, sometimes religion is way more omnipresent. So you sharing your gift as a light worker might not really be accepted. But let's talk about in general. Persecution is not something that is predominant right now. It was in the past. It was in past centuries, and even in the 50s, in the 60s, in the 70s, in the 80s, it was associated to darker stuff. I remember in the 80s, in the 70s, when we were talking, and I was so interested in psychic stuff, like all the psychics, all the mediums. But the words we were using at the times were metaphysical, esotericism. What else? I forgot. I had my whole list and I just forgot. What are the terms we were using before? Please help me here. So what did I say? Yeah, metaphysical, esotericism, paranormal. Everything was kind of, that's weird. It's in the world we don't see. So even those words had a kind of a darker aspect. Now we rarely use those words. We use light workers. We use star seeds. We use awakening. We use ascension. It's all holding the light. So we don't feel persecuted as much. And you have so many authors, so many channelers and mediums out there expressing with joy and empowerment and success and abundance their powers. Like Hay House has so many authors who are star seeds and light workers and mediums and channelers, and they're going mainstream. It's almost turning into popular psychology, self-help kind of stuff. So the fear of persecution is not a fear that is in our world or countries that are as predominant. On the other hand, because we are also holding or still connected to our karmic field, so past lives. If you have gone through one or many lives where you have been judged and potentially incarcerated, and even worse, for sharing your shamanic gifts, your healing, your witch gifts, chances are that you're still carrying in your field that persecution fear, but it's not a conscious one. Again, there are exceptions. There are people who have right now in this life, in these times, have experienced persecution, but I would say it's not mainstream, okay, anymore. So these are the orders you guys have chosen, you thought, were the three main fears. Okay, I repeat, it's a difficult pain to release sometimes. I guess, MJ, you're talking about persecution. If you're talking about persecution, yeah, you need to, if you're able to really channel your own past lives, yes. I do feel that it's always good every time you do like deep inner work, whatever it is, whatever modality you choose, hypnosis, everything that involves going back in time, this life or past life. It's so good to have somebody with you, a guide, a healer, a teacher, a channeler, a hypnotist, because it's hard to be, again, the observer, the client, and the guide that will get you out of your own, vision of the experience. But that's definitely a good question. So let me give you my answers for the main three fears rising light workers are experiencing, and I'll tell you why. You're all right. They're all fears we're experiencing. But if I'm talking about rising light workers and who's present today, I know that you guys are rising light workers. Um, there's no specific orders in the three ones I'm going to share, but these are definitely the ones that are coming. So I'll share with the common ones, and then I'll keep the last one that might surprise you. Okay. And you'll tell me, okay, if it did surprise you. So fear of rejection. Fear of rejection is still something that the rising light worker is experiencing. I have that sometimes too. When does it happen? Well, it happens a lot when I'm tired. I do admit. Suddenly, I'm like, oh, because I'm working alone, and because even though I'm interacting with you guys, sometimes you're with your own world. You don't have colleagues, or if you do, they're far away. You understand, like being an entrepreneur, working yourself. So, this fear of rejection, of not being accepted, is a common one for all levels of light workers, healers, and starseeds. Definitely. As I said earlier, rejection is connected to not being accepted, is being made fun of, is not being accepted by your family, whomever you live with, your community. That is a big one. How can you work on this? Well, the fear of rejection is not in the ethers, it is programmed within you. And I'll come back to this, but it is programmed within you. It's not something that will disappear magically because you are suddenly a very high, potent, and successful light worker or channeler. This fear may be lingering, might be still, around you. So it is important to address this one. And it's more connected to the subconscious mind, so to the earth mind, than your ability to channel. You can be a very proeminent and very known light worker and healer, known, powerful, connecting with a lot of people, and still have the syndrome of the imposter, definitely. So that is one of the three ones, the main three ones. So Natasha says, why do I not have problems with rejection? My family and friends. Oh, well, that's wonderful. totally wonderful. You don't have to question yourself if you don't have it. And you see, you've mentioned something very important, Natasha. You just said, my family and friends accept who I am. You've got it. If you have been raised, even if you didn't know at the time you were an intuitive, if you have been raised in a family, in a setting, in an environment where people were not judging each other because of their marks, because how they look, because their eccentricity, because of their originality, as you develop your intuitive powers, then it will flow. They'll accept you as well, even if you are becoming woo-woo for them. You understand? So the setting where you were born and how you got educated, and then the town too, is so, so important. So that's why you don't have it. And I'm so happy for you. But it's exceptional. And I do feel as we're evolving that this fear will disappear because people are more understanding. But you understand, this is a big one for many, feeling rejected. The second one on the list is, as a rising light worker, is the fear of not making it financially if you decide to turn your passion, your hobby, into something that you would like to dedicate more time with. I mean, if you do that as a hobby and you're starting to really expand, well, you might have some spending coming with it. Of course, you don't have to spend and invest anything to become a channeler or a light worker or a healer. You can just, connect to other people. You can do all that for free. There's so many resources, or really, not much. But if you're starting to want to reach out and connect to more people, you need to find ways. Even if you use social media, which is mostly free, you need time. There's a lot of time involved showing what you do, finding the right words to describe what you do. It takes a lot of time. So eventually there will come a time where if you spend 20 hours per week on this, doing the work, promoting, sharing, you'll be like, okay, maybe I would like to make some money around that. And that's totally normal. That's how the world works. I mean, when you want food, you pay for food. So there's a paradigm that needs to shift for you and for people too. So that is also a major thing for rising light workers, is like, if I drop everything, if I drop the 9 to 5 job, or if whatever you're doing that brings you money, then there's a fear and misconception that offering this might not bring you much money, because a lot of light workers are still charging low rates. It's going to be $20 for a session, $50 for 2 hours, a full workshop for 100. I mean, nobody can make a living unless they have like really thousands of people working with them. Then of course a small amount can allow them to do this. But most of the time, you have to be aware your value and the gift you share as a light worker is as powerful as as somebody teaching you how to hypnotize a client, somebody teaching you how to work with herbs, or somebody teaching you how to work on YouTube. This is even more powerful because you're bringing healing, you're bringing support to people. So, so the fear of not making a living from your gift is something that will arise when you start to play with your energies. There will be a pivotal moment where you'll be like, I'm having fun with this. Let's be more serious about it. Then you start with friends, and your friends are, yes, it's really potent. Why don't you offer it? Just go to your local um, not workshop, but yeah, offer workshops locally. But maybe there's a fair, maybe there's a community where you can offer your intuitive powers, your intuitive services. So yeah, it doesn't have to be massively a huge step at the beginning, but eventually you will want to do that. You will feel that it's working, so I want to do more. So that is the second fear. And the third fear, and that's where everybody did not see this as a major fear. It was the second to last in the list of 7 I had. It's the fear of doing introspective work. So inner healing, going deep inside and checking out what kind of emotion is blocking me, what kind of mental block is really stopping me from being an aligned light worker and fully abundant. And that's the one that people put last. And the poll, and you can go back to the poll on in the group. Remember, if you want to join the group, feel free to do it on Facebook. We're meeting so often, and it's fun to chat together. But so this one, people, I and it's totally understandable because it's not as exciting. I'd rather myself too. I'd rather connect to my higher self all the time and all those beautiful cosmic collective energies that are sharing so much wisdom and healing energy. That's what I would prefer to do. But all the fears I have shared, that even the ones that are not in the top 3, most of them are from this life. I say most of them. We have also karmic baggage, but most of them are from this life. Meaning my fear of being rejected, my fear of not being good enough, my fear of being ridiculed, my fear of not making money, my fear of being rejected. I said it. My fear of every fear you may feel are human fears that have been programmed from the setting you're in. And if you don't do the inner work, then you are going to slow down your progression. You can be the most, aligned light worker. There's not a light worker, and you can name all the known ones that are really out there sharing their gifts. Ask them, do you have any family issues sometimes? Do you have some conflict with your families, with your kids, with your spouse? And when you interact with your colleagues, does it happen, or your assistant, does it happen that sometimes that they don't understand what you want to do, or you have a project and sometimes technology doesn't work, or you don't believe you can work this way? They all feel this. They do feel this. And where does it come? Definitely not from the fact that they're not known enough, that they need more confirmation about their gifts, or they're not intuitive enough. It's obviously not coming from there. It's coming from a more earth subconscious program that needs to be reviewed, deleted, and reprogrammed with a belief that is more making sense. So the belief of the belief that you can make it, that you're powerful, that you will grow intuitively all the time, that you easily adapt your intuitive powers into the third dimensional reality, that people love you, and the people who are connected to your vibration will find you. You're not scared to be out there. You're you're so passionate about what you do that when you share it on screen, on media, in social medias, or in a local gathering, people just know exactly they're meant to be working with you. To be this passionate and powerful and convincing in the way you share your gift, you need to clear all the fears that are stopping you from doing this. So, and that's what I do with my students. And that's what people feel discouraged with. I have intuitive abilities, and I'm blocked because I don't know how to share them with my friends, with my family. So all the fears you mainly have are earth fears. And even though you're a learning intuitive, or you're a very aligned intuitive, you still have to work and go the deep work. It's not dark, it's just deep. And you cannot bypass that. You cannot bypass. So when I work with students, it is included in the curriculum, one-on-one, group courses, my membership. There's a section on how to deal with the fears, with the doubts, with uh, with um, with all the personal blockages, relationship, self-love. If your body, if you have chronic pain and it might be connected to anxiety, you need to address this because it will block you. The world is made out of third dimensional elements, including people, including technology, including things and a way to interact. There's a specific steps to interact with people you want to work with, or people you already live with. And all the fears you may experience right now are definitely connected to your personal life experience. So bypassing this is bypassing a major aspect of your light working experience, which is also learning to be an abundant, healthy, focused, motivated and confident light worker human being. I repeat this. To be a fully aligned light worker, you also have to learn to be a confident, powerful, motivated, focused, aligned human being. That is crucial. So that were the three major fears rising light workers are facing. And the third one is definitely, so some of you got it. So it's great. It's totally great. There was another one I forgot to mention, the fear of connecting lower vibrational entities. That might just happen at the beginning when you are learning to go through the different dimensions, but that will dissolve over time. But if you're starting, yeah, that may be after a while, as soon as you know your frequency, that will totally disappear. So what do you think of that? Were you kind of aware of the importance of doing self work? Does it make sense to you? And if not, please let me know. Let me read. Um, okay, let me see this. The consistency of revisiting and healing the past is a big fear. I think for me, recognizing it in myself, it's shifting out of the guilt or shame. Yes, totally, totally. Um, let's see what you have, Natasha. I think I block myself or my heart over time because I don't mind people around me and I embrace myself and I need no one to approve. Perfect. You're totally empowered, and that's wonderful. That's totally wonderful. I do feel, though, that we all have things to resolve. It doesn't have to be extremely deep and extremely complicated. If you take care of yourself, if you do your own stuff, it's fine. But life is life, and you can evolve slowly as a light worker and have a period in your life where everything flows so easily and everything come your way so easily that you don't have to really to really work on inner stuff. But life is life. There will always be something every day that triggers you and that needs attention. Where you will feel that you need to work more on yourself, it's when you start to want to offer your services mainstream. I mean, if you only have a few clients and you're fine to do that part-time locally, then chances are they trust you, chances are that it's easy. But as soon as you start to go online, then you're exposed to more people. Some are loving, some are a bit less loving because they don't get what you're doing. So it's all about you. It's all about self-confidence, totally. And whomever you attract, it's probably because they sense that there's something that is off and they sense that little vulnerability within you and they just go at it. And if it triggers you, it's a sign. It's a sign to look at it. But it's a constant evolution and you always need to work on yourself. It's so crucial. It's part of the human experience. Another fear is the fear of lower energy. I feel like I have been surrounded by men mainly lately. Yes, lower energy. It's also, that's another topic, but it's a good one. Lower energies is they're always there. They're always there. Lower energies, dense energies, the collective. The collective, or we're going through so many massive changes, and those massive changes are seen positively by some and like really are being judged, evaluated, and criticized by others. So when those two types of main energies are meeting, of course, it creates a ripple that might, or thought forms that might come to you. And depending on how you feel, if one day you're a little bit going or feeling down or feeling vulnerable, then you might attract them more in your field awareness. But remember, as much as there are lower energies, there are high energies. You can always decide to open up your heart, to ask your higher self, bring me those higher energies. These are the ones. But again, the world is the world. You will face lower energies, and how you answer them, how you respond to them is an indicator if you can go through easily through life as an abundant aligned light worker, and nothing that people say, nothing that the world is going through is deeply disturbing you or affecting you, meaning you're still clear, then chances are you have done most of the work. If you feel that you can be sometimes out of balance because of what people say, or family, or the situation outside, it is not just because these are lower vibrations. If it triggers you, there's something you need to look and work on yourself. Always, it should be a work you do in parallel. It's not you work on yourself and then you develop your intuitive powers, or the opposite. You work in your intuitive powers, and when they're really reaching a very high level of expression, then I can work on myself. It's all happening at the same time. You work on yourself, you develop your intuitive powers, and as it comes, you just go with the flow. Very important. So how does that sound? Does it make sense? Does it resonate with you? Wonderful. So we will close with a personal connection. So now my question to you, is there one person here who would like to receive a personal guidance? We can channel something like that for you. So if you're interested, just post a yes, I want, yes, me in the comment section. That will be my way of knowing that you're interested. And again, it's all channel. We will connect to your higher self, and we will find out what kind of guidance you're able to receive right now. Okay. So while you do this, let's see. Elizabeth has a message. I have spent a lifetime doing personal work, and it became my go-to. Since I have become a rising light worker, I have been focusing on the light now. After I hear this, I have a list of introspective issues to look at. I'm sensing it is a matter of doing it with joy and light, and not attracting and not attaching to the story. I've done the work, but sometimes need to finalize or reboot totally. My fear is not the introspection, it is getting stuck in the pattern or always looking for unfinished business. Yes, and there will always be some kind of unfinished business, but eventually they will be resolved a lot faster. I personally know that I go over any kind of doubt, loop, fear, or whatever it is. Sometimes it's a lot triggered by out external triggers. It's but again, if I resonate with it and if it triggers me, chances are that yes, it's not resolved in me. But because you're working with higher energies, it's easier to go into a meditative state, connect to your higher self, and just say, okay, show me what I need to work on. Show me, let me know what I need to work on. Show me information, guide me to the right person, guide me to the right support to help me do this. And remember, we all have different stories. Some people had a wonderful upbringing, while others went through difficult issues in their lives, and there's some trauma to resolve. So you understand that, yes, you'll spend a bit more time on introspection work. So let's see who's there. Okay, let's see. Yeses. Who's interested? Well, Sarah, are you interested? I think you are. So, do I have your permission to connect to your higher self? Just say, yes, you have permission, or permission granted, and we will do this. Remember, stay connected. If your name wasn't chosen, we will still get some stuff for you. You will still definitely unlock something for you. Sarah, all I'm asking you though, before this session ends, this personal connection ends, is to take the time at the end to share how it resonates with you. I don't want you to disappear right after. Whether it feels on or off, again, it's not to confirm that what I see is indeed what's going through. It's more for you to take a minute or so to say, yeah, that triggers that kind of thinking. It's more to help you integrate everything. So if you can promise that you will take the time, perfect. We are in business. What I'll post here again, if you want to join the group, if you're not in the group yet, guys, it's time to do it while I connect with Sarah's higher self. Remember, in the group, we have every week, we have this type of connection. We have this type of gathering every Tuesday at 11:30. Oh, no, not true. At 3:30. Every Tuesday at 3:30 Pacific time. So Sarah and everyone, close your eyes right now. Take a deep breath in through the nose and breathe out. Take a deep breath in through the nose and release until no more breath. Beautiful. Every time you breathe out, you're releasing the fears, you're releasing the blocks, you're releasing misconceptions and outdated beliefs around your abilities to connect to your higher self. Beautiful. Use your powerful imagination to create images in your mind, and remember, it doesn't matter how you see things and feel things, you will always see this in your own way. See a beautiful white light all around you. This white light is connecting your earth self to your higher self, making one unique, blended energy that is you. I will count from 1 to 10. As I count from 1 to 10, we will strengthen that connection. In everything I describe, everything I receive and describe to you, I'm asking you to recreate these in your own mind. Make my vision, my words, your visions. I'm channeling and you are channeling with me in your own way. We're entering this dimension where you are also the channeler. You are also the receiver of the guidance, of the healing. Let's do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I'll describe you again everything I see, and again I have no clue what's coming. So just have an open mind and just know that sometimes it's extremely symbolic and we need to gently allow the images to make sense. So I'll tell you everything that came through and the word that came through. I saw like bare mountains, like in a dry climate. It's not really desertic, but it's still a dry climate, so it's cold at night. It can be very warm during the day. The earth is almost light beige, almost white sometimes, with a few tiny rugs and really, really small shrubs here and there. And I heard the word burro. So it's donkey, but I heard it. I hope I'm not mistaken, but I heard it in Spanish. So I really see you on a donkey, and 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 what is interesting is because I'm trying to see if you're a man, or you're a female in that vision, but you are on a journey. So I see a man leading some kind of, the word, it will be interesting, but a convoy. So there's a few people behind you, still on a each one of them on a donkey, and you're just going through a sacred land. I hear Mexico, and I'm trying to say no, maybe it could be Central America, but it's really screaming to me Mexico. And the atmosphere, the feeling is light. It is a spiritual journey. It is some kind of ritualistic journey. And you are actually behind the men. So at first I thought it was a past life, but it's not a past life. You're actually behind the men who is leading, who seems to be the guide of that of that of that group. So you're kind of behind him. And my question is that you seem to be organizing some kind of quote unquote retreat or ritualistic thing. And actually, the essence that is coming through is like, you are, it's obviously a projection in the future, and at the same time it's in your field right now, meaning that it's slowly growing into your heart, into your mind, as something that potentially could come to fruition, to reality. But there's an intrinsic desire within you, whether it's conscious or unconscious, to create some kind of ritual pilgrimage that will take or could take people into a place that shaman healers used to take, like almost like a pilgrimage, a journey that has been taken by elders, ancestors. And I can feel the mountains around, again very bare, talking. You can hear the echo, you can hear the silence, you can feel the ancestors speaking, you can feel the energies there. And it's not just ancestors, we're talking also about highly healing energies there. So it's almost a location that has been recognized as a pilgrimage, like for, it's not a religious pilgrimage, it's really a ritual, a healing process, a healing journey. And in the vision I have, you're leading a group, but you haven't organized that group. You're just there because you say, I want to do that so much that I need to be the client. I need to be the client before, in order to feel the client's perspective, the pilgrim's perspective, the student's perspective before. But I can feel you're like totally admirative of the energies around, and it gives you ideas, it gives you the desire to create something similar. So this is what I see right now. And I could go like on and on, because obviously there's so much more for you to come. But your higher self really wanted you for you to see it. So does it mean that you really have to do a pilgrimage of that source to feel the connection? Not specifically. You can visualize yourself doing it the way I'm asking you to see yourself doing it, going through, like really a road or a whole journey there. You can do it in your mind. But if ever you find that journey, or you have already done that journey, there's something your higher self is trying to tell you, that there's this ability you have to create an almost kind of an initiation, an unlocking pilgrimage that will open people up to their strong healing, shamanic gifts. And that's all you have to know right now. Take a deep breath in through the nose and just breathe out until no more breath. I'm thanking your higher self, and I'm thanking all the ancestors that came through this vision, because I feel them all around. It's you might see them, you might feel them. They're going to stay with you. They're saying, like, definitely strongly for the next 2 weeks. It is always up to you. Like any of my students, I'm always saying the same thing. It is up to you to see how this aligns with you. It is up to you to say, do I do some research? Do I do a pilgrimage myself? Do I envision? Do I visualize? Do I go into a trance and visualize to see how it feels? It is up to you to bring this to reality, to find how you align with it. But if you do so, if you decide to go this route, for the next 2 weeks, the ancestors, I call them the ancestors because this energy has been in that location, which I don't know where it is. It seems to be Mexico, but I don't know where exactly. But it seems that it's calling you. It's like, and it's saying she doesn't have to go there. If she wants to physically feel how it feels, is perfect, but we will be with her for 2 weeks. So if she wants to play with this energy, if she wants to even create remotely a journey, she could. We will be with her. So they will be very strongly with you for the next 2 weeks. It is up to you to investigate, to really go with it or not. It's always free will. Thank you so much. So when you're ready, you can open your eyes, beautiful, and let me know how this goes. Wonderful. So I'll just give you time to come back and give me your feedback. I would love, and I will put it here on the screen, because I think it's important for everyone to see how it feels. But if you were organizing something like that, that would be so interesting, really interesting to just be part of it. So you guys, yeah, I see some more commenting. Yeah, ancestors, yes, Natasha says, are alien for me. Yeah, you remember, we have different origins. So ancestors, I think it's more connected to the actual location. If we connect to Sarah's energy, it's really connected to the location itself. Even if she had nothing to do with the location, or if she's not related, even though, I don't know, there seems to be a coding for Sarah that is connecting her to this. So while I'm waiting for Sarah's comments, I hope you enjoyed that discussion. Remember, if you're not part of our community, please join the community. It's totally free, whether you watch this live or as a replay. The address is there. I will put it also in the description. Every week we have discussions, we have activating posts. We're talking about the life of the rising, aligned, abundant light worker. So it's not really to network, even though you're invited to share your stories. It's just to activate you. This is my mission. So of course, this is the way I communicate with you. Questions, posts, channelings, conversations, mini readings, mini higher self connections, to just not to tell you how much I know, because my role is not to tell you what I know or channel specifically wise information. My role is to activate you, whether it's to activate your powers, whether it's to bring clarity around your abilities, whether it's to show you your next steps. This is my work. So this is the kind of energy you will find in our community, and activating energy regardless of your level of light working ability. Wonderful. Elizabeth says, such a great chat and so much information. Thank you. Well, that was my pleasure. I'm just waiting for the beautiful Sarah. I can hardly wait to really read your stuff. It's I don't know, honestly, to from my perspective, it was so amazing, so amazing, really amazing. And everybody, I mean, you can tell us what you saw for yourself. I don't really want you to share what you saw for Sarah unless you want to send her a message and she agrees to it. But I like to get people's permissions, and I think that if ever you saw something for her, make sure that she's okay to receive this. But feel free. Remember, when you are part of my channelings, you definitely receive stuff for yourself. Okay. So for me, the message was, and please share that. If you have a message for you, please share it. For me, the message was to go more around rituals. I mean, traveling might be a little bit more restricted at this time. So how can we travel into other places and times and dimensions while still remaining home? You know, there's so many interesting factors around the situations we're going through. So many, even though the situations can be heavy, it's shifting so much. It's almost inviting us, instead of going here and there and everywhere, to activate you, even though the energy of a place can be so activating. But you can do that from wherever you are. And that was the message for me. I can take myself in Mexico. I can take myself on a retreat. I can take myself into an environment that will unlock me, that will relax me, that will put me into contact with my higher self. I can do that remotely. I can do that alone. I can do that with a group. I can do that with my clients. It is so, you can do that. You know, you can do that on your own, definitely. So I don't know if my beautiful Sarah is there, or she takes the time to type her things up. Um, Either way, everyone, I hope you enjoyed it. Again, you feel free to share your impressions around all this. I will have to go very soon. So Sarah, don't worry if ever you want to come back later or you're still typing. It's all good. It's all fine. I will read your comments. Remember, join the group if you're not in the group, and if you're already in the group and you're ready to really up level your intuitive powers, your abilities to the next level, and feel activated and loved and supported, I have so many different ways to work with you. There's one-on-one work over a few weeks. I realize that when you work over 7 weeks, it's like perfect. And we go through everything. All the fears we have talked about, we're going through this. The fears of being rejected, the fear of not being good enough, the fear of maybe not making a living. So we really take care of your earth self. And of course, we have group settings where we meet every week, and I will talk about that next week a little bit more. And we have another group setting, a membership, where we talk, where we meet twice a month. You have like a library of activations working on different levels of your intuitive journey. It's amazing. But the first step, if you're not in my group, is definitely to join the group. And if you are ready and you want to chat with me, well, send me a DM, send me a personal message. If not, you can just contact me here, nathalierestore.com, and chat, and we can talk about your journey. We can talk about your what you feel is potentially your next steps, and if you're not sure, what I sense could be potentially your next steps. It's all free, it's all open. If we want to work together later, it's all fine. If it's not a fit, it's fine as well. We're here to chat, we're here to activate one another. All right, so I'll let you go, and hopefully I can hear from Sarah very soon. I would love to hear from you, Sarah. And until then, bye for now, and enjoy your weekend. Next week, oh, put in your calendar right away. February 22nd, we're going to have an amazing activation, guys. All right, bye for now. Bye.